And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM, plus live and amplified around the world on the Inland Sports Channel. We're brought to you by Adrenaline Athletic Training, Ken Sporting Goods, Spoiled, Quick Quality Oil Change, and of course, Remax Advantage. Nobody sells more real estate. And right now, we go straight to the Remax Advantage Celebrity Hotline. And this is a guy people around the Inland Empire are talking about. And what a time to be alive if you're Stephen Wright, starting pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. 10 wins this season, all-star game selection, and he's on the phone with us right now. Stephen, first off, congratulations on this season. Can you point to something why this season has really come together for you and primarily with the knuckleball?
I mean, it's kind of really hard to point to one thing. It's a lot of things have happened, throughout, since going into spring training. Obviously, the opportunity of me starting came up. It was unfortunate that we had a guy go down, but that they needed a guy to step in and kind of fill his spot while he was rehabbing, and I was able to get a couple good starts under my belt, and then but a lot of help to like Tim Wakefield. I worked a lot with Wake, and he's helped me kind of simplify things throughout the season. He's helped me try to stay as consistent as you can, throwing an inconsistent pitch. And so it's one of those things. Like I've had a lot of help with the organization, and I'm just trying to take advantage of it.
Now, your journey with the knuckleball, from what I read, began about 6 years ago. When you first started it, were you a little hesitant to make the move over to the knuckleball, or was it something that you felt like, I could really find some success if I go to this pitch?
Oh, I was definitely hesitant. I was going through my entire life throwing fastballs and sliders like everybody else, and I still, was able to throw a low to mid-90s, but I never had that really swing and miss pitch. Which, once you get to pro ball, you gotta have a put away pitch, and I didn't have that, and so it was one of those things that I just became stagnant in Double A. So I really wanted to. I was getting ready to quit, and then the Indians saw me messing around one day with the knuckleball, and they were like, hey, like that's your out pitch. Like you need to start throwing that. When you get to 2 strikes and stuff. And so I did, and then, I went into spring training, thinking that's what I was going to do. And then they ended up bringing Candiotti in, and he was just like, you need to start throwing that, as your only pitch. And then from that point forward, I basically was like, hey, I obviously wasn't going to make it as a regular pitcher, so maybe this is like a last-ditch effort to make it to the big leagues. Unfortunately, for me, it worked out.
Yes, it sounds like you were surrounded by some of the greatest knuckleballers. I mean, you were name dropping right there, and growing up, hearing all those names. I mean, was that pretty special to have you being able to be coached up by these guys who, if I could say, perfected the knuckleball?
Yeah, I mean, working with Candiotti, and I've had opportunities to work with Charlie Huff, and then I work pretty much on a daily basis with Wakefield. It's definitely a blessing because with Wakefield, he spent 20 years, playing and throwing the pitch away from his family, and he still takes time to come over to spring training in Fort Myers to work with me for a couple weeks during spring. And the same thing with Charlie Huff when I'm back in Moreno Valley. I'll drive out and we'll meet him. Either I'll drive out to Orange County or he'll drive out to me, and we work together. And just try to. It's all about repetition, and so you try to do it as much as you can to be consistent.
Well, Stephen, you're 10-5 on the season. You get your first All-Star Game selection. You mentioned Moreno Valley. Do you have a lot of family and/or friends heading down to San Diego for the All-Star Game on Tuesday night?
Yeah, I do. My mom and dad, my brother and sister coming out. Then I got one of my best friends and his family coming out. I got the guy that Frank Pastore was the guy that taught me the knuckleball, or showed it to me back when I was 9 years old. His wife is coming out, and so yeah, I mean it's going to be fun. I mean either way, I'm sure there's going to be more people there than I even know right now. But it's an honor to be able to represent the Boston Red Sox the All-Star Game. I mean I'm not big on the individual awards, but it is really cool. I'm going to enjoy every minute of it, especially because we got such a good group of guys going with me. I mean we got 6 total, with a possible 7th. And so it's just one of those things you take it with strides. It's the first one. I really don't know what to expect, but I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to try and enjoy every minute of it.
And Stephen, what's it like being your catcher? I mean, do you have to give him do you have to buy him dinner or something that night? I mean, what's it like having to be the catcher behind the plate when you're on the mound?
I've been lucked out. Ever since I've been with the Red Sox, I've had a lot of good catchers. I think everybody catches me tremendously. It's not easy to do, and the more for me, like I've been throwing it for 6 years now, and so I've seen catchers that can't do it. Like literally, they just cannot do it. And I haven't had that problem here. Like we have a tremendous coaching staff that worked with Wake, so they've been around Wake. Our bullpen coach used to catch Wake. He was the bullpen catcher when Wake was here, so he has experience with it. And this year I've thrown to 3 different catchers: Swihart, Vasquez, and Hannigan. I've had the most experience this year with Hannigan, but I've thrown to Vasquez and Swihart a ton in AAA and in the big league. And so for them, it's definitely a challenge. It's unorthodox. It's something that they're obviously not used to doing. But, man, they take so much pride in what they do that it gives me a lot more confidence knowing that I can go out there and I can really get into one with the runner at third, knowing that there's a small chance that it's going to get by them. And all that does is that just speaks volumes of how hard that they work, day in and day out to help me, with catching it, because it's not an easy thing to do.
We're talking with Stephen Wright, Boston Red Sox pitcher here on the Inland Sports Show. And Stephen, finally, my last question is, man, you've done some amazing things outside of the baseball diamond. You've gone and visited the troops in the Middle East and Europe. You've gone to Africa. How have those experiences kind of shaped the way you approach baseball? Maybe the appreciation maybe you have for the game now.
Yeah, I mean, when you go see the troops, and then when I went to Kenya and spent time in the Mathare Valley, which is one of the most impoverished slums in the world. It just makes you appreciate what you have. I mean, people in America have it. We have it made here. It doesn't matter how political you get or how much you don't like the political world, but we have it so nice here. We have a government that will take care of you if you need it. Over there, they have nothing. And so it's an eye-opening experience to people forget how great we have it here in America. And then, it kind of puts life in perspective that, when I wake up in the morning and I'm having a bad day, it's like, you know what, I still got running water. I still got family that loves me. I still have a job. I still have food on the table if I need it. And those people wake up and they're happy as can be, and they literally have nothing. They don't even know how they're going to get their next meal because they're making less than $1 a day. And the same thing when it comes to the troops, man. Like, those guys and those families are going over there to Europe. They're going over to Italy and Germany and Bahrain. I didn't even know where Bahrain was before we went there. And they're over there because their countries asked them to go over there, and they're doing their job day in and day out, and they get no recognition, or at least not the recognition that they deserve by the sacrifices that they make. Because most of those people, they're willing to do the ultimate sacrifice, which is to give their life for their country. The least that we can do is show appreciation for them, for what they do, and to keep us safe. And that's where people get the freedom of speech comes from those guys over there protecting it. And some people take it, they kind of use it too loosely when they do it over here. But if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have that. And so that's what, for me, I had an opportunity to go show my appreciation, and I jumped on it as fast as I could.
Well, Stephen, you perfectly put it in perspective, and wow, what a fantastic season. Congratulations. I know you still have the second half, and the Boston Red Sox are charging hard, trying to get into the postseason, but congrats on the All-Star selection, and best of luck in the second half of the season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Stephen Wright, Boston Red Sox pitcher and Major League Baseball All-Star, the pride of Valley View High School here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.